All right, now that I've got at least them set up, and I could bring in props if I want to bring in the couch from my scene, I can just export that out of my room scene and then import it into here and have, position that so that she's sitting on something and then, whatever props I want to make or put in. And you can totally use the ones from your room if you want, since you've spent all that time modeling them. But now I want to set up how we're going to set keys. Okay, so to do that, um, I want you to pay attention to a little box down below. So right in where your range slider is, and you have the numbers, the beginning of your animation, the beginning of the range slider, this guy here, the end of your range slider, the end of your range, and the end of the animation. And as we go over, we see, oh, it's 30 frames a second. There's a few things, but you'll notice there's a no character set, it says. And if I click on this, and I also want to make sure, you notice I don't have any of this stuff on. I don't have this on, which is my auto key, and I don't have this on, which is the caching, which sometimes does not, it slows your machine down a little bit. It's supposed to do cool things, but I've noticed it a little wonky. So I'm going to leave that off right now. But you'll notice I have a no character set, but now I have two of them, Andy All and Andy Rig to Andy All. And inside of these, I have three options each: Andy All, Andy Body, and Andy Face. So what are these? These are character sets, and what they are is designated, they're pre-designated of, if I switch it to Andy Body, and the Andy Body is the original one. The duplicate, you'll notice it has a prefix of the name of the file I brought in, which was Andy Rig version 2. Okay, so that's how I know which one is which. And so I'm on Andy Body, you see the red check, and now it's on. And what that basically means now is that I don't have to select this character to set a key on it. With this off, so what does it do? None. Every time I move something, I'd have to I'd have to set a key for that. I'd have to set a key for that, and every other thing that I want to set a key on. And it's very easy when you're posing the character to forget to. What you'll do when you're blocking out is you're going to pose the whole body. Don't worry so much on the first pass, or maybe even the second pass, about the fingers and the facial expressions. You are just trying to get the body silhouette like we saw in the video. And so now I would turn this on, but Andy All would key everything, his face, his whole body, and you'd have a ton of keyframes. And since we're not even working with the facial expressions yet, this is going to give you more work and do more harm than good. Andy Body will key everything, his head, his neck, his spine, his hands, his feet, his pelvis, everything but the facial expressions. Okay. And Andy Face would key everything as far as his facial expressions are concerned. The reason we didn't use that for the lip sync is because it adds way too many keyframes. So I don't want to key all my facial expressions when I'm just working on the mouth, because this is going to be counterproductive. So the only one I use for this character really is Andy Body. Okay. And so now, anytime I press S, whether he's selected or not, oops, let me turn off, for some reason it's showing. I don't want to show IK handles. There we are. So now when I press S, it's going to key all of his body. But this is how you turn them off and on. When you exit out or start to work on it on the next day or a few hours later, when you open Maya up again, you have to turn it on and make sure you know which one is which. Okay. So now I can use my character set And what you'll see is like, oh, just as a test, if I took this and go to frame 0, set a key, grab the box. So hold on, let's do, I'm just going to show you this. And let's turn off the sound for right now. Just so you can see. Frame, let's say frame 20. Drop them down to here. Frame 40. Now, if I deselect him, watch this. S. I pressed S and you notice it's, even though I don't have anything selected, it's showing that I keyed. And now I've got a little animation just like that. Okay. If I want to delete these keys, Shift left mouse, delete. Now there's no animation. But this is how you turn the character sets off and on.